I
At what
I
time
what?
do you wake up?
I don't remember the past wake up.
Ah, okay, that was a good question. Present wake, past woke.
Woke. Okay.
Ah,
And today I woke 7 o'clock.
exactly. 7 o'clock. Well, it's necessary to connect the 7 o'clock. You need a preposition for the 7 o'clock. And this is today's lesson. What is the correct preposition? In 7 o'clock, on 7 o'clock, at 7 o'clock, the 7 o'clock, you know? This
I
preposition.
remember in the time use at, no? Or no?
Nice. Aha, that's correct. So then correction, action.
Okay. Today I woke at 7 o'clock.
Perfect. That is correct. You see? So specific contexts need an specific connector. At is exclusive for times, but what happened with in, what happened with on, and the rest of the connectors. When you are talking about locations and time, it's very important to use the correct connector. This is today's class. Okay, so everybody pay attention to the next slides. The first part is to talk about the question where. And then in part two, we are going to talk about the question when. The question where is a question for place or location. And the connectors in, on, at, in, on, at are the direct answer, the response. The problem is that they are very similar. What is the difference between in my house, on my house, and at my house? You know, let's talk about that. For location, question for place. Okay, for locations, we are going to talk about, or we need to consider two things: interior versus exterior. Interior versus exterior. This is how you can understand the difference between in versus on. If you are talking about the interior of something, then you can talk about the interior of your house. If you are in the interior of your house, you are in your house. If you can talk about your bag, you can talk about your pocket, you can talk about the car, the interior of the car, you can talk about the interior of the street in general. You know, when you are talking about uh, locations in general, you use in the street. I am walking in the street. So objects with interior. Any other ideas of locations with interior? Anyone? Ideas of objects with interior?
In I know in my house. It's
In my
repeat.
house? Yes, of course. But that's option number one, no? That's example number one.
Yes.
An additional example?
In my country?
In my country. Very nice, eh? I like that one. In my country, talking about the interior of your country. Good. Very nice. In the refrigerator, for example. Or you can also talk about the interior of your stove. Do you know how you say estufa in English?
No.
Okay, estufa in English. Dictionary. Now let's go to Google Pictures. Oh, okay. That's a stove. The top is a stove, but you make a cake in the oven. This section is the oven. So you make cakes in the oven. You see, she is cooking in the oven. Interiors. Take a note. All that. Let's contrast this information with the connector on. The connector on is not for interiors. The connector on is used for exteriors. For example, a table, the wall, your lap, the sidewalk, the roof, or names of streets. This particular expression is used with surfaces. This is new vocabulary. Everybody, pronunciation. Surface.
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 Good. It's not face, it's face. Surface.
Surface.
Good. What is a surface? A surface is a location that has like a table, you know, a table. You collocate things over the table, on the table, right? So the table is a surface that supports objects, you know?
Surface.
The outside layer of something in the exterior of something. Different types of surfaces. For example, no, but not the tablet. No. Surface is here. You can see different surfaces in this case. These rocks are surfaces. These are wooden surfaces. These are different surfaces. When you run, you have different types of running surfaces. You can run on the highway. You can run in the street. You can run on the grass. These are different running surfaces. So in your mind, connect surface with connector on. Like a track, an avenue, a street, the grass, the sidewalk, or the forest. Comprehension surface or no comprehension surface?
Yes, teacher.
Right? So let's give examples. Viridiana, give me an example of an activity. No, where? Where do you run usually? Where do you usually run?
I am brown.
Eliminate am.
I run.
Mhm.
I run. In the park usually.
In the park, but this is the interior of the park, right? What surfaces do you run on?
I run a street usually.
Good. Connect the street.
On a street usually.
A specific street.
On the street.
Exactly. Very good. Complete.
I run on the street usually.
Perfect. You run on the street usually. Very good. What about Vianney? Where do you usually put your cell phone? Where do you usually put your cell phone?
I put myself on the table.
Good. You put yourself, your what? Can you repeat? Repetition, come on. Okay.
I don't, I don't, I don't remember the question. No.
You don't remember. Memory.
Yes, bad memory.
Very bad. Very bad.
I put my cell phone
Right?
on the table usually.
Perfect. Yes. I think you said myself. And that's a different thing. My cell phone.
My cell phone.
Correct. Good job. Perfect. So I'm going to give you some extra vocabulary. Lap. Let's talk about the word lap. What level is lap? Oh, wow. This is C1. That's a very complex word. No, not really complex. It's a part of the body. Do you know the expression laptop? No? The computer, the PC.
Yes.
Well, laptop exists because lap is this part of your body. For example, Santa Claus, you takes the kids and they sit on the lap of Santa Claus. Oh, I have a picture here. This girl and this baby, she is sitting on Santa's lap. And this baby is laying on Mom's lap. That's the reason the name laptop, because you can work on the lap. Right? Comprehension and comprehension. So what do you, what again?
No, I'm not carried.
No catch.
No.
Okay. So you have parts of the body. No, this is my body.
Okay.
This is my arm. This is my shoulder. This is my chest. This is my lap.
Okay.
So this girl is sitting on the lap of Santa Claus.
Okay.
So what other activities do you do on the lap? For example, where do you put your laptop? Help me, Vianney. Do you put your laptop on your lap?
Yes, I put my laptop on the lap, on my lap.
On your lap, exactly.
Oh, eh, eventually,
Eventually, sometimes,
sometimes.
no? Sometimes, not every day, but sometimes, yes, me too. Mhm. Good. In the case of Viridiana, do you sit babies on your lap? Viridiana, are you there?
Sorry.
Good.
Yes, I cite.
Uh-oh, pronunciation. Sight is different.
Sit.
Exactly.
Sit.
Do you sit babies on your lap?
Yes, I sit babies in my lap.
In is interior.
On my lap.
One more time, repetition.
Yes, I sit babies on my lap.
Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. There you have it. Girls, we use on for different surfaces. This is the principal problem with connectors, eh? When we think in Spanish, we have the connector en. So, hablemos un poco de español y contrastémoslo con inglés. Si decimos en mi casa, suena muy parecido a, como a cuando decimos en la mesa. Entonces, la palabra en se puede confundir porque tiene dos traducciones en inglés. En mi casa significa que estoy dentro de. En la mesa significa que está sobre de, pero es la misma palabra en español. Por eso cuando pensamos en inglés confundimos y ponemos in en todo. ¿Ok? La idea es que cada vez que tú pienses en interiores, lo distingas de entre interiores contra superficies. Si hablas de una superficie, tienes que usar on. Si hablas de un interior, usas in. Y así lo vas a distinguir. Questions? Observations?
No, okay.
No? Take a note, eh? That's very, very important. Okay. Let's pass to the next. Exceptions. When you are talking about public transportation, we use the connector on, not in. So if you are taking a taxi, it's not in the taxi, you are on the taxi. every time you talk about public transportation, you need to use on. For example, I watch the map when I am on the car. Right? Viridiana, do you smoke when you are on a taxi?
No, I don't smoke when I on the taxi.
Nice. I on the taxi, incomplete. What is the verb?
Are?
I are.
No.
Are. He is. But I. You are. He is. I
am.
Aha. Repeat.
No, I don't smoke when I am on the taxi.
Excellent. That's correct. You don't smoke when you are on the taxi. Good job. Vianney, do you listen to music when you are on the bus?
I'm not listen the music on the bus.
On the bus. Fantastic. There you have it. Girls, that is the correct expression for in versus on. Now, let's contrast in versus on with the third connector. What is the third connector? We are studying in, on, and
Off.
For locations and time?
At.
At, very good. The connector at is for time, but for locations too. Oh yeah, before we go to at, we need to remember this information. The connector on is used for digital platforms, TV channels, and websites. So take a note, connector on, location or digital locations are locations too. I listen to music on Spotify. I watch movies on Netflix. Viridiana, do you watch videos?
Yes, I watch videos on Netflix.
On Netflix, that's correct. You see? Vianney, do you have a favorite TV show?
No, I don't have series.
You don't have a favorite series?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, what's your favorite series?
Fórmula 1.
Fórmula 1, okay. Good. Okay, in what channel do you watch the Formula One? Formula One in English.
Ahora sí, Fórmula 1.
Yes.
I watch the Formula 1 on mm, on a Netflix.
On eliminate extra information.
Okay. I watch the Formula 1 on Netflix.
Fantastic. That's correct. Good job. You watch the Formula One on Netflix, right? That is the correct connector, specifically for digital platforms, TV channels, and websites. Okay, so it's never in, it's never at, and this is the next part, connector at. Connector at is used for locations, but not digital locations, physical locations. So the important part in this case is to consider a specific point in the map. Okay, at is used for specific points in the map, specific locations. Okay, contrary to in and on. In is talking about interiors, right? And on is talking about exteriors. So we have two different applications here. It's different to say in the coffee shop than to say at Starbucks. What is the difference? At Starbucks is the location in the map. In the coffee shop is in the interior of Starbucks. You see?
Yes.
Comprehension or no comprehension?
Yes, teacher.
Yes.
Take this as a note. The note that I want to give you is very important. It says that for this reason, it's incorrect to say in my home. Home is considered a location. This is an exception, eh?
Say in my house is correct.
Okay. In my house is correct because you are talking about the interior. You know? But at home is a location. So that will be different. You got it? So it's like, oh no, I forgot my cell phone at home, not in my house. Where are you in this moment? I am at home, not in locations. Any question?
No, teacher.
Fantastic. So, question. Do you know how do you say dejar in English? Dejar de olvidar, de poner. Dejar in English. How do you say that?
Dejar.
How do you say dejar in English?
Mm, mm,
Nobody?
no remember, teacher.
Okay, no problem.
No, I don't remember.
No problem, no problem. The verb is leave.
Leave.
Okay. Yo dejo mi celular en... No, yo dejo mi computadora en la oficina. How do you say that in English? Go, Vivian,
Leave.
complete.
I leave
Mhm.
my cell phone
Mhm.
in the office.
Exactly. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. The office is a location.
Is in the interior.
Location.
Ah, okay.
Specific points in the map.
Okay.
Mhm.
I leave
Mhm.
my cell phone
Mhm.
at the office.
At the office, exactly. That's correct. The office, home, is usually used as locations, not interiors.
Okay,
Okay,
okay.
good. Let's say, Piani, how do you say in English? Suelo cenar en casa, in English.
Eh, em, ¿Eso es en presente?
Suelo, yes, ajá. Suelo es presente. I usually.
Okay. I usually eat.
Mhm. Eat, okay, okay, continue.
Usually, I usually dinner.
Close.
Mm.
El verbo cenar no existe en inglés. Es have dinner.
Hat?
Have in present.
Okay, have. Okay. I usually have dinner at my home. No,
Exactly.
at home.
Exactly. Eliminate my. My is extra information.
Okay.
Okay. So repetition.
Okay. I usually have dinner at home.
Perfect.
Teacher, when mm, ay, se me va. Use at my home is correct or is bad the pronunciation?
Okay. At my home. Yes, no. The expression at. No. The expression home is considered that. Is considered an expression. Okay. So is saying home is only one. There is only one home. It's impossible to have two homes.
Okay.
So when you say my home, is redundant because my is my and home is only one. So that is considered redundant.
Okay.
Got it?
Thank you.
No problem. Good job. There you have it, guys. That's the difference between in the house versus at home. Locations versus interiors. So let's go to the final part. Part 2, the question when. The question when is for time. And now we are going to see the different applications of in, on, at, but talking about time. Similar to places, similar to locations, they are different. When you are talking about hours, especially when you are talking about the future, future time, future months, future years, you need the connector in. Specifically, when you are talking about future hours, specific years, specific months, or specific seasons. Seasons like summer, winter, spring, autumn, etc. Right? Do you understand seasons? Do you know what is winter, autumn, spring, etc.?
Yes.
So this is the connector in. Talking about specific points in time. Similar, you have an interior. In October has an interior. No? In 1994 has an interior. Viridiana, when is your birthday?
My birthday is correct? Birthday?
Yes, that's correct.
My birthday is in July.
Good. Pronunciation. You.
July?
Look at the symbols. We need the soundboard, huh?
I. I.
July?
Exactly. Yes.
July.
July.
July. When is your birthday?
My birthday is in July.
Exactly. Your birthday is in July. Good job. Good, good. Diani, when in the future, in how many hours, in how many minutes the class finish?
It's very difficult to share.
It's not difficult. How many minutes the class finish? Look at the clock.
The finish, the class finish.
Okay, better. The class finish.
The class finish in 10 minutes.
Perfect. The class finish in 10 minutes. That's a future time. You see? So that is the application of in. Future time, months, years, and seasons. Months and seasons and future years. On the other hand, we have the connector on. And this is the difficult part. On is, yes, for a specific days, no years, days. So when you say, voy a la oficina los lunes, it's incorrect to say the Monday. The correct form is on Monday. You see? When do you go to the supermarket? Vianney, when do you go to the supermarket?
In past? No. En presente.
Of course.
I go to the supermarket Monday. On Monday.
On Monday. There you go. You go to the supermarket on Monday. And you, Viridiana, when do you go to a restaurant?
I go on Saturday.
Good. Where do you go?
I go at the restaurant.
Connector for restaurants, connector for destination.
At?
Destination. You saw at is location.
Okay.
Destination. Memory. Wrong. That is not connector. The connector for destination is to. Go to.
Okay. Jesus. I go to restaurant on the Saturday.
Eliminate that.
On Saturday.
On Saturday. That's correct. Good job. That's a difficult part. When you think in Spanish, we collocate the. And the expression the is not necessary for this. Never. Okay. In and on. What happened to the connector at? The connector at is used for hours, similar to Vianney's indications before the class. At is exclusively for hours. I wake up at 6 o'clock. I go to the gym at 12. The class starts at 7. You see? This specific information is very easy for many people. Viridiana, at what time do you have dinner?
Again, teacher, please.
Yes. At what time do you have dinner?
Okay. I have dinner 9 at night, 9 o'clock.
Perfect. Complete. One more time with conviction.
I have dinner at 9 o'clock.
There you have it. You have dinner at 9 o'clock. There we go. Right? Your nutshell for the day is the following. What you need to understand is the application of in, on, at according to space and time. Space and time, space being location or place, and time being, well, time, right? Tomorrow, I'm going to teach you how to tell the time. But that is the most important information. If you want some exercise, take a screenshot on this. That's for your material. And 7, 8. Today's class. And you have some exercise. You need to select if it's necessary to say in, on, at. I will send to you as a homework. Is there any question?
No, teacher.
Perfect. Because we finished for today.
Thank you, teacher.
Excellent class, girl. Very good practice. I'll see you tomorrow.
See you, teacher. Good night.
Bye. Good night.
Bye.